It's been 5 years between starts for Hamilton's Cody Ledbetter, and we won't tell him tonight's game is a meaningless affair. Joe Montford was the CFL's best defensive player last year. Many feel he is still the most dominant defender.
His target tonight is the most elusive quarterback in CFL history, but after a subpar performance Saturday, the pressure's on Damon Allen. But he can't do it alone. The receivers this year for the Lions have been average at best. Alfred Jackson is the leader. He has read the riot act to the group tonight.
These BC Lions have squandered several opportunities to prove they are the best team in the West. Tonight, one final chance to prove something to themselves.
Yeah, it's put up or shut up time for BC. They need a win or a tie. It's must-win time.
Ron Lancaster has made no bones about the fact that this game should have been played, rescheduled a month ago, not 5 days before the playoffs. On the bright side, though, he knows his players would rather play than practice.
When Steve Barato was asked yesterday which team would show up tonight, his reply was, "Your guess is as good as mine." He seems as confused as anyone as to why this team has been so inconsistent. But he also said, "Our backs aren't against the wall tonight. They're squished."
So what is your guess about the Lions tonight?
I'm going to go out on a limb right now and tell you number 9 shows up and plays tonight for the Lions.
Osbaldiston's kickoff. Down near the 25. G-Roy Silent, good move there. And he ran smack dab into the middle of Dwayne Butler. Damon Allen is coming off his worst game of the year with one last chance to put the defending champions in the playoffs. Last week was ugly. Those interception totals have risen steadily over the last 5 weeks.
Well, he added by 4 on the Saturday game. 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns for Damon Allen, went 8 of 20, and obviously Steve Barato unhappy with his performance against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
So the Lions will begin with a first down at the 39. Allen shotgun, keeps it on the ground on the first play, and this running game is one of the keys to BC's success tonight. The Lions begin with 4 import receivers: Jimmy Oliver, Alfred Jackson, G-Roy Simon, and Mel Long. Drummond and Millington will run the ball. And up front, Steve Harden has been the most vocal about the Lions' embarrassing loss Saturday to Saskatchewan.
Over the last few weeks, Robert Drummond has not been the problem. He's been running hard and really had a great game versus the Calgary Stampeders, which was just over a week ago.
2nd and 5. And Allen will come up short of the first down on his first carry. Gonzalo Floyd was there to make the tackle.
Well, defensively for Hamilton, they left a couple of starters at home, including Chris Schelling. He'll be replaced by Warren Musica, who gets a chance to play in the linebacking core. And in the secondary, the safety, Rob Hitchcock, leads the league with 6 interceptions. He's in a tie in that position.
Lions come up a little shy of the first down.
Joe Montford obviously playing in this game and getting the start, and he wants to add to that sack total. He has 19 so far in the season.
Personal best was in 1999 when Montford got to the quarterback 26 times. Tony Martino, a Lion a few years ago, and back this year as Amerson drops deep. Vaughn almost got to it. This is Archie Amerson. They spin around a move there. And Cody Ledbetter gets his first CFL start since 1996. And in that year, he was a rookie with the Edmonton Eskimos. Danny McManus will watch this one most of the evening. Looks rather comfortable down there on the bench.
Well, the word is that Danny McManus will not see the field tonight. However, having said that, and knowing Ron Lancaster, if things get close down the stretch, don't be surprised to see Mr. McManus.
Ledbetter shotgun, got it away. First pass is complete to Archie Amerson. Trevor Shaw gets a start alongside the ageless Darren Flutie for the Tiger Cats tonight. Archie Amerson is the starting running back. And up front, a test for the offensive line, accustomed to the quick release of Danny McManus. Starting lineups brought to you by Midas. Keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
May see Darren Flutie rest a little bit in this game as well. We'll see more of Trevor Shaw and the backups for Hamilton in the receiving corps.
On second down, Ledbetter takes out to his left. He may have the first down. We'll see where they spot the ball.
Well, the BC Lions don't have the luxury of resting any starters. They'll have to go with their #1 crew. However, they have to make some changes due to injury. Toya Jones is out of the linebacking core. Carl Kidd replaces him. And in the secondary, Cedric Curry starts in the corner for Tyrone Bell.
Cody Ledbetter has been a partner of Danny McManus for 5 years now.
Well, the one thing about Cody Ledbetter that you know for sure is when he doesn't see what he likes down the field, he'll use his legs. He likes to scramble. He likes to run and throw on the run. You get a good chance to play the game from start to finish here tonight. Show what he can do.
No question he has learned from a master in this game, has he not? Well, a couple of them, actually. Lancaster and McManus.
Well, it really has developed into an interesting system between Cody Ledbetter, Danny McManus, and Ron Lancaster Jr. and basically 3 offensive coordinators that work together throughout the game, throughout the practice week, to put the game plan together. So it starts with Ron Lancaster Jr. He's upstairs tonight, as he always is. Communication tonight will go down to Danny McManus and then to Cody Ledbetter. Usually it's Ledbetter talking to Ron Lancaster Jr.
1st and 10. Ticats are at the 38. High snap. Ledbetter brought it down, no problem, but he's down. Carl Kidd, number 26.
Rest assured, Cody Ledbetter will see a ton of this from the BC Lions, and that is the all-out blitz coming. Here comes Carl Kidd on the straight blitz. Archie Amerson has a choice, and Seth Dittman can't get to Carl Kidd in time. You guarantee you one thing, Cody Ledbetter will see all-out blitz from the BC Lions all game long.
First sack of the night to Carl Kidd, a loss of 7. So Ledbetter looks at 2nd and 17.
Here they come again.
Missed the target. He was looking for Tony Akins. And there were a lot of BC jerseys over there.
Well, with the Hamilton formation, you know you're going to draw some coverage. Look at all the receivers there for Hamilton. 4 in the bunch, so you see all the drop. Now look at all the Lions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders in the area to cover 4 receivers. Mismatch for the BC defense. Ledbetter throwing into coverage, but he had the pressure coming from Carl Kidd and really had to get rid of that football.
Leroy Simon is deep. Paul Osbaldiston with an ailing calf muscle in his left leg is standing back near the 15. Says he's feeling a little bit better for this one tonight. That's Osbaldiston. Here's Leroy Simon. Bulldog to the ground by Dwayne Butler. No score. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Vancouver.
Want to win $1 million? Shop and swipe your Safeway Club.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Here's what we're looking for tonight at the stadium at BC Place for the Ticats. Stay interested, stay healthy.
Stay focused. For the Lions, cue the song.
A whim away,
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
It's a win away, yeah.
The Lions can't sleep tonight. That's the question. Both teams, of course, had the quick turnaround. And in the 3rd quarter, both teams will be feeling like they're running in quicksand. And I think whichever team can sort of rise above that and get past that quick turnaround will have the edge tonight, even though, you know, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are playing with some fresh legs on the field.
And Sunday, the playoffs begin, semifinals in Hamilton and in Calgary. Robert Drummond picked up 7. And so the Lions are out just shy of the 50-yard line at the 49. Jimmy Oliver to the near side. It's Drummond again. And he should have the first down. Robert Drummond.
You know, a lot of people this year have talked about the tandem of Robert Drummond and Sean Millington and that they're not seeing the ball enough all season. But when you actually look at the numbers and the amount of carries compared to last year, almost identical in the amount of carries. Now, when you look at their average yards per rush, it drops off by a yard. Now, part of the problem was This offensive line struggled early in the season, and they really couldn't get anything going in the running game. But really, Millington and Robert Drummond have seen the ball almost identical to last year.
Here's David Allen, first down. He has a target, far side. Lyle Green.
Made his first catch on Saturday. Lyle Green's been a little bit more involved in the offense the last couple of games. Little play action there to Sean Millington. That draws pretty much every Hamilton defender, and Lyle Green open out near the sideline. Little second effort there, and that's what Steve Baratta wants to see tonight. Never let the first tackler bring you down. Let's see some second effort. Let's see a little heart and a little desire.
And he'll get a little heart, a little desire from a young guy getting his chance to play for the first time, although he did see a little activity last week. 21-yard gain for Lyle Green. Millington. Sean Millington, big hit.
Well, you got to give Rob Hitchcock credit for coming in there. Sean Millington had turned the corner, and he had his shoulder pads going north and south. But safety Rob Hitchcock, who's known as a hitter in his career, watch number 42 come up there, lower his shoulder, and put it right in the chest of Millington. That's not easy.
Well, he slowed him down.
Well, it is not easy. Millington has a head of steam, and he just comes flying up in this hole. Watch this. There he is. Bam. Right there in the hole. Slows him up enough so Fitzpatrick can make the tackle. 6 interceptions for Rob Hitchcock. An outstanding season for the safety of the Hamilton Tiger Cats in his 7th year.
Yeah, tied for the league lead in that department with 6. Bolden and Shaw also have that title, so apparently if he gets 1 tonight, he'll win the interception derby, right? Unless
that's right.
Mike Fletcher gets 2. He's got 5 for the Lions. But
this is their game in hand. Hitchcock has a chance to take the title in the interception department.
Lions began back at the 42, 4 plays later. They're at the Ticat 45 on second down, about a yard to go, and it looks like they should have that.
I mentioned the offensive line for the Lions has struggled the first half of the season. Steve Baratta told us yesterday that they've improved over the last 6 games, and there's a couple of guys up front that really deserve a little recognition. That's Corey Mantica, who will likely be their lineman nominee this year. He's the guy who's always asked to take on the Joe Mumfords of the league out there on that tackle, and of the group, he's probably had the best season.
The steadiest, for certain. Millington tries the right side. Penalty markers are down as Millington gets close to the first down marker. Ran into Brandon Hamilton.
Holding. BC 68. First down repeated.
That happens every time, doesn't it? We blow a little smoke.
Yeah.
Corey's having a great season, and he gets the holding call.
You know, but there's a couple of offensive linemen up there as well, John, for the BC Lions that may be playing in their last game in BC Place Stadium as a pro. Jamie Terrace has talked seriously about retiring at the end of the season. And Craig Henderson told me before the game that this will be his last game in a BC Lion uniform in BC Place Stadium. Obviously, they feel they want to win this game and go on into the playoffs. But he said, as far as playing here, this will be my last game.
David Allen on first down, looking deep. He's got a target. Jackson can't make the catch. Flags are down, however, on the coverage by Clifford Ivory, perhaps.
I think they're going to say Clifford Ivory was screening and didn't look back to the football. Alfred Jackson had run a corner route and had outside position on Clifford Ivory. He was where he wanted to be. He's going to go down the field and then break to the outside.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton 13. First down.
Now you see Clifford Ivory in chase. Does he look back to the ball? He's got his left hand up in the air and never looks back to the football. That was the screening call, and that'll put the ball on the 1-yard line. Alfred Jackson tonight, John, has to have a huge game. He is the leader of a receiving corps that has been average at best.
And he's been very vocal this week about the Lions' performance Saturday night. 33 yards for BC, and there's the touchdown from 1 yard out. Millington is into the end zone. So a 33-yard penalty against the Tiger Cats. Set the Lions up at the 1. Quick start for BC, but we've seen this before, haven't we?
Well, they got a quick start on Saturday. In fact, they had a 10-0 lead versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders, so you're absolutely right. But a good start for the Lions, the start they needed.
So it's 7-0 for the hometown Lions. They need a point tonight to make it to the playoffs. Almost a touchdown there. The next play, it's Millington in from the 1. 7-5. Alfred Jackson makes a difference to this football team, even when he doesn't catch the ball. He set up the touchdown.
Well, on Saturday versus Saskatchewan, 4 BC Lion players showed up late for the game. Now, they said they had a little excuse. There was a fire alarm and whatever.
Couldn't get the keys out of the
Couldn't get the keys and whatever. Alfred Jackson said, coming into this game, I'm locking the door at 5:30. If someone on the team isn't in there at 5:30, they're not getting their uniform. You're right. He makes a difference both on and off the field. And on the field, Alfred Jackson got positioned by his motion before the snap. He comes inside here. He makes Clifford Ivory believe he's going to run an inside type of pattern. And when he does, he gives him a little fake to the inside right there. And now he's got outside position to the corner, and Clifford Ivory's in chase. That's why he gets the ball down to the 1-yard line.
And here's the scoring drive brought to you by UPS, moving at the speed of your business. 8 plays, 68 yards. Millington in from 1 yard out. The interference penalty set it up.
And drives like that will keep this defense off the field for BC.
Yazika's return has the Ticats near the 35. Archie Amerson has a couple. Troy Davis is at home watching this one, the #1 running back in the Tiger Cats offense.
Yeah, which really in some ways handcuffs Cody Ledbetter. You know, he gets a chance to play in this game as the backup, first start in a long time, like you mentioned. And then you take the #1 running back out of the backfield from behind him. Now, Archie Amerson is capable. But remember, Danny McManus, through this great run for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the stretch here, has had Troy Davis running hard behind him.
Well, Davis was bothered a little bit last week by the flu, so that's one of the reasons that he didn't make the trip. Ledbetter throwing to the far side, has a target. Andrew Gregg streaking down the sideline, but a penalty marker had been dropped right on the line of scrimmage.
Well, I believe the Ticats will take the play. I thought Herman Smith was offside, the Lions' defensive end. And if that's the case, Andrew Gregg will get the reception.
Offside. BC 91. Penalties declined. First down.
29 yards is the net gain for the Tiger Cats here.
Breakout year for Andrew Gregg. And over the last 3 years, Andrew Gregg has been just over 100 yards shy of 1,000 in each of the last 3. He got his 1,000 this year.
So after that gain, Hamilton from the 42, Ledbetter near
Watch
side.
out!
Oh! Carter made a move on the toss for Corey Grant.
Eric Carter had 2 interceptions in a losing cause versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Saturday. One of those picks was a very similar play to this one. He took a ball 90 yards back on the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and if that ball is thrown a little bit lower, Eric Carter is gone. Watch how he closes the distance on Corey Grant when he reads Corey Ledbetter's eyes. He is coming full speed downhill at that football.
So it's 2nd and 10. Tiger Cats. Ledbetter has Flutie. Gain is 12 yards to Darren Flutie. Currently closing in on another CFL record. He is #3 in receptions to Don Narcisse coming in. Flutie had 807, so that'll be 808. Or 908, I should say.
Yep, climbing up the list.
Narcisse would be tough to catch tonight. Archie Amerson again.
Got it here.
You know, and Darren Flutie has hinted about the possibility of retiring at the end of the season, and I think a lot will depend on what Danny McManus does. And you know, Danny McManus is also getting up there in his career, and He's talked a little bit about it. I think if Danny's back, Darren will be back. And Danny will make sure Darren's back.
Yeah, it's really 1 and 1A. It's a tandem. They come as a package deal half the time, don't they, when they negotiate? Ledbetter on second down. There's the touchdown toss. Intercepted. Picked up by Herndon. Warner Herndon. So 11 threw it. 11 caught it. Turnover goes the way of the BC Lions, leading the Ticats 7-0 in Vancouver. Cody Ledbetter has tossed his first interception.
You know, he made the right decision. This is the intended receiver, Archie Amerson. If Ledbetter right now throws it on a rope, he's got a little window of opportunity right here, but that ball has to be hard and right to the spot. He puts a little air under it. That allows Warner Herndon to come all the way across and pick that football off. It was the proper read to throw right here to Archie Amerson, but it had to be on a line and it had to be right in that small window of opportunity. He waited a split second, and Herndon takes.
Didn't miss by much. I mean, a foot and a half or something. No?
That's all it takes.
I know, but he didn't miss by much.
It's a game of inches.
If he's going to give up an interception on this drive, better that one than Carter on the sideline.
No question. Well, Carter scores.
Damon Allen looking deep. Anyone under it? Alfred Jackson was the target. Brandon Hamilton was with him stride for stride. And Jackson is a little slow to get up. Still ailing a little bit, or he either that or he got nicked a moment or two before.
Well, two things. I mean, Larry Fitzpatrick hammered Damon Allen as he delivered that football. And you're absolutely right. I think Alfred Jackson just doesn't have that burst he's had. Watch the hit, though, that Damon Allen takes from number 98, Larry Fitzpatrick, as he delivers that ball. That's right in the rib section. Clean hit.
2nd and 10 Lions. Allen looks one way. Can't find anyone. Decides he'll just take it out of bounds and kick it away. Sean Woodson chased him out. Not a bad week for Woodson last week. 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery against the Argonauts on Saturday. And Damon, well, he didn't have a good week last week.
Yeah, and I saw him in warm-up, and throughout Damon's career, since I've been up here in the broadcast booth, I've often chatted with him before the games, and you know, he'll talk about a lot of things. His demeanor before games is relaxed. Today, it was all business. I looked at him, said a couple of things. He looked back. He said, we're going to be just fine. But it was all business from Damon Allen.
Here's Tony Martino. Close to 50 yards in his first punt, but this one from deep in the end zone. The Ticats will get pretty good field position. Martino, though, decides to
that's
give two away, and that's a field position plan right there.
Absolutely, and a wise move by Steve Barato. You give up the 2 points. We've seen it quite often this year. In fact, in week 2, when these two teams played together, Steve Barato was forced to give up a couple of safeties. There were 3 in total. Snaps that went over
adventures in punting night, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was bad snaps, and pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong in that week for the Lions. This time, a good decision to give up 2 points and get the field position advantage.
Well, this team has really not been fair to Steve Barato. He's a good coach and a good guy. He can't figure out what's going on, just like anybody else.
We have consistently through the year been more concerned about the BC Lions than we have our opponents. Only because when we do what we do well, the opponents don't pose a lot of a problem. And it's doing what we do or not doing what we do well that has caused us more problems than the opponents.
In other words, they've messed up too many times.
Yeah, they're beating themselves.
Yeah.
And in case in point, Saturday versus Saskatchewan, they have a chance just before the end of the half to put another 7 on the board with 20 seconds left and lose the opportunity with poor clock management.
Yeah, they had an opportunity to call a timeout and missed
Kick at
that
least
too.
a field goal, yeah.
3 points was literally guaranteed. They walked away with nothing. That's Aikens on the return there. Gotta love the way this guy has played this season. A rookie in the CFL. Defensive player of week 18, Glenn. And also for the month of October, Barron Simpson.
And he will not be caught in the tackle totals this year. Second was George White of Saskatchewan. George White is done the season. Barron Simpson has 113 on the year. He will take the title.
Well, Jason Lamar still has a shot, doesn't he? With about 27 tonight?
No. No shot.
Cody Ledbetter. Miss Flutie on an out pattern. Darren Flutie.
And Hamilton now, what they'll try and do after the pressure that Cody Ledbetter has experienced, will try and move him around a little bit. In other words, they're going to take the football and roll Cody Ledbetter out to the left, roll him out to the right, see if he can't break contain and try and throw on the run. If he stays there in that pocket, he knows one thing: the Lions are going to come after him. Ron Lancaster Jr. trying to use what best suits Cody Ledbetter, and that's to run a little bit with the football.
From the 29. Second down, Hamilton. Ledbetter had to get rid of it in a hurry. There was pressure coming.
Oh, he got snowed under.
Andrew Grigg, target on the far side, and there were two BC Lions there. They go.
How would you like to be Cody Ledbetter with Herman Smith and his 9 sacks coming off one edge, David Benefield and his 4 off the other, and Ledbetter just throws and then take cover? I mean, you just got to get rid of that ball and protect yourself. But it's that reason, and that reason alone, after you saw the hit that Ledbetter just took, that Danny McManus is not playing in this game.
G-Roy Simon ready for the kick from Paul Osbaldiston.
Now, how does that Steve Barato decision look now, giving up a safety? G-Roy Simon is going to have decent field position here.
Pads, gentlemen.
Not bad with any kind of a return, although Osbaldiston gets away a great kick. Chasing him back to the 25. There's a penalty. Simon tries to turn the corner. He's got the corner. He's got the corner. He's got the escort. Penalty marker down. Simon down the sideline. All the way. Touchdown on the return, but I think this one might be coming back.
You're absolutely right. Well, we just heard Steve Barato talk about this team constantly beating themselves. The second time this year, they will have a penalty, take back a punt return that ended up in the end zone.
The punt traveled 50, the return 81, and this
illegal
ruined it.
block. BC number 1. First down.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy to spot, Glenn. Dead square in the back. Mike Fletcher.
You see number 1, Mike Fletcher, right there, working on Jarrett Smith. That push right on the name tag, and that's just, you know, that takes away this great return from G-Roy Simon. In that Week 16 loss to Winnipeg, a very close game, 26-18. It was Chris Nofo with an offside penalty that took away a touchdown on a punt return for the Lions. This time it's Mike Fletcher.
Mel Long to the near side, and Lions keep it on the ground.
John, the great Bear Bryant once said that a football game will always come down to 3 or 4 big plays. The problem is you don't know when those big plays are going to happen. So that's why coaches will always say, if you see the guy's name tag, don't touch him. It may be the big play that makes a difference in the game.
Well, there's a touchdown call back on a team against a team desperate for a victory here tonight. Millington didn't find much, so it's 2nd and 10, and Allen won't get away. Lost the ball. Montford took it away, and Joe Montford has turned it over for the Tiger Cats. Their first of the night, a fumble by Damon Allen.
You see
He looks
how
to be playing it a little casually, Glenn.
Well, Damon Allen, of course, has got the padding on his left hand. He's still got, from that injury where he fractured bones in his hand against Calgary early in the year. Watch Mumford off the edge on Robert Drummond. Excuse me, it was Sean Millington who tried to cut him. Mumford off the edge. Won't allow Millington to get to his legs. Uses that big left arm, which is also the same arm that strips the ball from Damon Allen. So things compound now against the Lions. A touchdown called back, a fumble, and Ledbetter's knocking on the door.
Yeah. And the Ticats definitely in scoring range with Amerson here on first down. Archie Amerson. Behind Mihalik, Curtis Anderson.
And for Joe Mumford,
Made the stop.
his fourth forced fumble on the year. Try and say that 4 times.
Well, you practice. We'll take a quick break. Go again. You got one more try.
Fourth forced
Yeah,
fumble.
well, keep going. There's your score. Ticats are threatening. We'll be back.
Wendy's, CFL Live at the quarter.
Back, everybody. Quite a turn of events for the BC Lions. They were looking at a touchdown after the punt return by G. Roy Simon. It's called back, and now Hamilton is close to punching one into the end zone as their defense makes a statement right at the dying moments of the first quarter. But BC's defense, Schultze, was doing what it has to do so far.
You know what, David? They really were early in the game. I mean, one of the issues in this game is the fact that Hamilton played last Saturday. Now they have to play Tuesday, and they got to fly right across the country. When you watch this play, watch Carl Kidd right, on the second guy from the inside. He's going to hit the B gap within the play, and he's going to get a sack on Corey Ledbetter. And then about 2 plays later, in almost this exact similar situation, and I don't know if it's a mental error by the offensive lineman on that side or what it is, but right through the same type of gap. And here's the golden rule when you have a quarterback. You always keep the guy farthest away from him free. You block everything from the inside to the outside. And I have to assess that type of mental error is also related to the fact that there's the game on Saturday they played, now the game on Tuesday, and sometimes that concentration is just 10% below in terms of being aware of who's there. And by the way, Carl Kidd's a good football player. I hope they re-sign him next year, Matt.
Oh, yeah, they're happy to have him back in the lineup, that's for sure. I always protect quarterbacks inside out. Schultze brought the most dangerous shoot, I know that. I tell you what, great start for the BC Lions and Sean Millington. You got to give it to the Diesel, because when this guy rolls, he averages 5 yards a carry, and here you get his shoulders pointed north-south, and usually means trouble for the ensuing defenders. Here it again. Get the shoulders north-south, get what you can, and then he capitalized for his 9th touchdown of the season. BC off to a great start, but then they saw my man Big Swole getting it done there at the end, causing the turnover, putting the defense in offense in good situation.
All right, let's see what Hamilton can do with the rest of this drive. Second quarter action here against John and Glenn.
Well, the Ticats are looking at second down and the opportunity for Hamilton here to go into the lead.
A lot of the criticism in the last couple of days has been directed towards the offense for the BC Lions, but now it's gut check time for the BC defense.
And really not too many complaints by anyone about the way this unit has played all season long.
There hasn't been, but the entire team has to rise up in this game. This is an opportunity for the Lions defensively.
This is second down and 6. Cody Ledbetter looked for the touchdown himself on a quarterback draw.
You know,
when he got his chance to get in there, he's going to call his number. I'm sure he was thinking about that.
I like the call. I don't think he sold it quite enough. There's the numbers after a half of football, or excuse me, a quarter of football. We're not quite. No, I don't want to rush this game that quick. And that's the 81-yard punt return called back. Mike Fletcher penalty. See, Cody Ledbetter doesn't sell it. If you catch that quarterback draw, you take 3 steps back like you're going to pass, let things develop, then take off up the middle, you got a chance.
Just a little more patience.
Yeah, Ledbetter got a little anxious. Could see that end zone, saw the goal line, just tried to take off, and it didn't fool the Lions defense.
How about Danny McManus last week? 2 carries for 3 yards, but 1 was a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Rushing.
Danny McManus has a 3.7-yard rushing average this year. That's well above his average.
But he's got some touchdowns, 3 in total. Flutie will put it down for Osbaldiston's field goal try.
See, Flutie motioned towards a drop kick, which is still a legal play in Canadian football. Drop kick is worth 3 points.
Tom Wilkinson used to practice that all the time.
Ray Elgard in Saskatchewan used to practice that as well.
I haven't seen it used, but they used to practice for the fun of it. Is Elgard pretty good at it?
He was very good at it.
A lot of people don't know what a drop kick is.
Well, drop kick is where you have it, when you have it in your hands, you drop it, it just touches the ground briefly, and then you kick it yourself.
Yeah, you have to lift it off the ground. It's got to touch the ground. Osbaldiston hammers it through. And the Ticats settle for 3. It's the Lions on top by 2 on Wendy's CFL Live. Lions hanging on to a 2-point lead. Let's bring in Farhan Lalji.
Well, John, Glenn was talking earlier about Alfred Jackson and his decision to close the locker room door at 5:30, just in case any other players decided to show up late. Jackson has been very vocal and very upset about what's been going on with this team. He's questioned the character of it, says it's a very different group than the one that won the Grey Cup a year ago. As for Jackson's knee injury, he missed a number of games this season. It's not the ligaments that are bothering him right now, it's the tendinitis in the knee. He re-aggravated it on the pass interference before the Lions touchdown, but I talked to him after that. He said there is no way he's coming out of this game.
Yeah, and I talked to him about the injury prior to the game, and I asked him, is it when you make your break, in other words, when your cut come out of your pattern and you're making your cut, is that when it's most painful, or is it in the acceleration? And he said, really, it's both. He said, I have about 3 speeds right now, and I just can't kick it into that 4th speed because of my leg.
Second down. BC. Allen. As Simon, penalty markers are down as Simon can't quite turn the corner on the far side and is stopped short of the first down by Dwayne Butler.
This will be holding against the Lions. The Hamilton Tiger Cats likely decline the penalty because Simon was well short of the first down.
Holding. BC 68. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Second penalty of the night for Corey Mantika. Pick this shit up!
Just take a look at Alfred Jackson in his breaks, and when you talk about acceleration, it's right here where he would start to accelerate and try and get a little distance between him and Gerald Vaughn, and that's a matchup that we'll watch. Gerald Vaughn will try to use his hands on Alfred Jackson, especially if he can't accelerate like he used to.
Yeah, my imagination, or did he look to be laboring on that run?
He will, but you know, he is one of the leaders, and I'm not surprised to hear him say that he's not coming out of the football game.
Amerson is back. Martino sails it. And stopped in his tracks by Mike Bauer, the leading special teams tackler in the CFL. Talking about Alfred Jackson and his thoughts on what's gone wrong with the attitude around this BC Lion team.
Who's to say we're going to show up, though? I mean, honestly, I thought we were going to show up last week, and we didn't. So right now, you know, we need to show up. You know, we need to show up, win or go home, and that's the bottom line. There's really nothing else to be said.
Puts it fairly simply, doesn't it?
Well, that's about as simple as you can put it. Win or go home, and there's certain urgency created when you're in that situation. Nice fake.
Cody Ledbetter looked to take off and got a little anxious. It was almost Ledbetter to Lancaster. The coach got one hand on it but couldn't bring it down.
You talked about the urgency, John. Here it can't get any simpler than what AJ just said to you. Toronto right now is in the playoffs in the West Division.
On the crossover.
If the Lions even tie, they're in, because if you want to cross over from one division to another, you have to flat out beat the 3rd place team in the West in points.
You have to be a point better.
So that one tie for Toronto has them in the lead right now.
And that's where the Argos are right now, a point better than the BC Lions.
You think
Ledbetter.
Think they're watching this game?
I think they are. There's Corey Grant making the catch. Carl Kidd made the stop on him. I would think that Mike Clemens is in front of his TV set there in Mississauga, Ontario.
Well, and if
watching this and figuring out if he's got a practice to call for tomorrow.
And if they do, John, they have some problems on their own. Kerwin Bell again getting after Mike Clemens, and I want to show you some as you look through this. This is a statement made by Kerwin Bell after the fact. When I came back, I never got control that I feel,
3,
I need,
4,
I respect,
5,
I don't want,
6,
me, I.
7, 8, and one more. You missed one more I right there.
There's an I right there.
Yeah, so that was 9.
9 in total. Well, we could put 10. There's one up there in Kerwin. You know what? Too many eyes from your leader. And he got in a shouting match with Pinball Clemens, and if they make it into the playoffs, they've got some things to work out themselves.
Well, I think they really have a problem to get that straightened out. Who will start at quarterback and how the team will react after last week. Simon on the return. It's the Lions on top of the Tiger Cats, 7-5. Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, JVC TSN Women's Skins game.
Hurry hard.
You're doing well. Semifinal, it's Law versus Jones. Semifinal, Mada versus
Colleen.
the other Jones. That's right.
There's Jennifer Jones in the first. Colleen Jones is the defending Scott and world champion. Hey, I'm up on my curling.
Yeah, you're doing a lot better than with baseball.
Well, the Lions have to hurry hard.
They do. 2-point lead is not substantial enough at this point in time. They should really want to be taking the Tiger Cats out of this game as soon as possible, right?
Well, yeah, and if you get the big lead, if you can build up a lead prior to the half, you know, you have a team that really doesn't want to be here, doesn't want to be playing in this game. Maybe they just shut it down.
Here's Damon Allen, and he's wrapped up for the second time.
Oh, boy. Aaron Williams getting involved there. And that pocket just collapsed around Damon Allen. He really didn't have a lane to escape through. Just take a look at this line and how this whole pocket collapsed. Nice controlled rush from the outside. And Damon Allen ran into the back of Jamie Terrace and into the arms of Aaron Williams.
So Amerson deep for Martino's kick. Martino across the 30. Pretty good boots. Amerson actually tripped up by the first tackler upfield. That was Herndon. Mike Maurer was also in the area. 12 on the return, 42 on the punt. It's Wendy's CFL Live. Ron Lancaster would rather be back in the tape room, or at least the film room, in Hamilton, getting ready for Sunday against Montreal. Steve Barato just trying to get to the playoffs and hoping to make a trip to Calgary on Sunday afternoon.
Hamilton hosts the Montreal Alouettes. Ivor Wynne Stadium on Sunday, and BC or Toronto, depending on what happens here this evening, will travel to Calgary for the semifinal matchups.
Ticats, 1st and 10 at the 40. Ledbetter got a little anxious and overthrew Corey Grant.
You know, on the other hand, John, you talked about the Lions really need to bury Hamilton or get a lead before the half. The other side of that coin is that if the Hamilton Tiger Cats can stay close in this game, they will become more and more confident. Cody Ledbetter, you know, I mean, no question he's going to be nervous. He's in his first start in a few years. He's 5 of 11. He's rushed some throws. He hasn't been patient at times. But the longer he's on the field, the more he will settle down.
Yeah, and the more confident he's going to get.
Absolutely.
Saying, right? 2nd and 10, Tiger Cats, Ledbetter. And he missed again, looking for Flutie, and it may take a couple more reps before he feels really comfortable out there.
Well, he will. And Danny McManus is the other guy. He'll be the calming factor on the sideline. He'll take Cody Ledbetter aside, sit him down at halftime, talk to him about the reads that he's making. Say, listen, you're throwing it to the right guy. Now just be patient, deliver the ball like you do in practice, and everything will be fine. But as long as Hamilton can keep this thing close, they will get more and more confidence, the backups that are playing for the Ticats.
Simon is back near the 30 along with Mike Fletcher. Osbaldiston standing at his 25. Fletcher in the dead run. And the Lions come away with good field position out across their own 50 at the 52. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Vancouver. Lions first down. Near midfield. Allen slipped after the little fake. Got it away after that. Lyle Green made the catch, and he's got about 5 yards. Gerald Vaughn had him wrapped up.
Ton of pushing after the fact. From the Ticats, Jason Lamar and Jimmy Oliver. Damon Allen slipped on the play, or may have been outside and on the run. This is the formation for the Lions they used in the first series. You see the little slip there. Dumps it off to Lyle Green. On Saturday, Steve Barato felt that Damon Allen, who calls his own plays, was struggling. Now, Allen didn't say anything to Barato, but he could feel it, and he wasn't assertive enough. That's what Barato told us yesterday. He said he will be here tonight.
Robert Drummond on 2nd down and 5, and he'll have the first down.
And I think that's what he's doing right now. I think Steve Barato right now has said to Damon Allen, go back to the running game, go back to the tight end set, we'll do a little play action, we'll go back to the running game. Barato said, if I see that kind of confusion again from Damon, I am going to become assertive, and I'm going to step up, and I'm going to call the plays for him.
Well, basically, he wanted to take some of the blame for what went on last week. But he said he should have jumped in there and been more forceful. Back to Allen. Nice little fake, and Allen goes deep. No chance to make the catch for Jimmy Oliver. Trying to go over the back of the defender over there, Saunders.
Well, you know what? That play, it happened so quickly, I don't think the secondary for the Hamilton Tiger Cats had a chance to bite on the run.
No. It was too quick.
It was really too quick. I mean, watch how quick this is in slow motion. The handoff, the turnaround, and the pitch. That happened in about a second and a half. I don't think the Hamilton secondary had a chance to react. They were all still back in coverage. What you're trying to do with a play like that is have the secondary jump up. Watch how quickly this happens regular speed. Here's the handoff. Here's the pitch. As a DB, I haven't even come on my back pedal yet.
You're right. Absolutely correct there. May have some room, and a penalty marker goes down, so Allen throws it. Simon will have a first down. Leroy Simon out of the 25, but this will likely come back.
Holding, BC 68. 2nd down repeated.
Boy. Three times for Manteca tonight.
You know, that trick play could have worked well for the Lions. It was a good time to call it. I just want to show you one more time the quickness of it. There's the quickness of the play. And that secondary really has no time to come out of there. And now they're in a hole.
2nd and 20 for the Lions. Allen looks to escape, and that wasn't a pretty pass at all.
No one's open.
Yeah, I think Montford might have got a hand on it.
And Damon Allen had lots of time to throw when he first had the football in his hands, looking to his left. And on his left were Mel Long and Denny Montana, and he had no one to throw. You just take one more look. Watch the secondary on that trick play. They're right back here, and I want to show you how quickly this trick, because this play really should have worked. But you see how they don't even react. They've got their backs turned, they're in coverage, and the play is not executed correctly because it's not patient.
Martino from the 40. 3rd down BC. Here's Amerson near the 5. Out across the 15. 10 on the return. 49-yard punts. 1st and 10 Tiger Cats as Ledbetter gets his hands on the ball again.
Well, you start to get the feeling once again that if the Lions want to get a lead, a big lead at halftime, it's going to have to be a defensive touchdown. And this defense has played well in the last couple of weeks. They talked about Eric Carter's 2 interceptions on Saturday.
Yeah, 10 days ago in Calgary, the defense was outstanding.
Well, Fletcher had an interception for a touchdown in that game.
They had 4.
Yeah.
Smith had 1, Simpson had 1, Crum had 1. Fumble. Ledbetter has a fumble there.
You know,
and
that's where the leadership has come on this team for the Lions. Barron Simpson leads the way in the middle. He had a great interception versus Calgary where he went up, knocked the ball down, and then intercepted it. Gary Etcheberry has got this defense playing very well this year, ranked 3rd against the pass with 248 yards per game, and big improvement from a year ago.
Ticats are looking at 2nd and 11. Back at the 16. Here's the heat on Ledbetter.
Here they come.
He got it away, but there's no one home in row 4.
Just to take it one step further, John, because that game wasn't televised, we had the World Series on Saturday in Saskatchewan, and maybe it was a good thing. Well, not for Saskatchewan fans.
Here I've got you.
But I want to tell you, I was sitting in the stands. I came and watched as a spectator. And most of the crowd, which was a decent crowd in BC, in that game were saying, leave the defense on the field. They'll score more points than the offense. That's how frustrating it's been for these fans.
So now you bring the whole family to the game at BC Place on Saturday night. It's Saskatchewan against Vancouver. You know, everybody in your family's from Vancouver, and you're sitting in the stands with your Grey Cup ring on from Saskatchewan in '89. Who are the kids cheering for in the game?
They were cheering for the Lions. I mean, that's out of my hands.
Simon had one return for a touchdown earlier, called back. And he's wrapped up this time by Randy Bowles. So they cheered for the Lions, the hometown. I guess you had to do that. Okay, Sports Center, Red and Price, right after we're done here. The baseball news today.
We lose a team?
Well,
we lost a team 2 years ago.
Yes.
In Canada.
It's just that they're getting around to it now. Anyway, we'll have the story there.
I have to admit, though, I did enjoy the World Series.
Well, it was a pretty exciting Game 7 as well. I mean, the Yankee wins in Yankee Stadium were absolutely wonderfully dramatic. And then Game 7 is we saw the Diamondbacks come back. That was
as far
fitting,
as baseball goes, it doesn't get much better than that, I don't think, as far as excitement.
That's about as far as you're going to go to compliment the sport, isn't it?
See if David Allen can throw a home run before the half is over here.
What's your feeling on croquet? Robert Drummond across the 40 for a 5-yard gain. Lions have the lead 7-5, 4:32 on the clock here at the stadium at BC Place.
Lions go back to the run. They have late in this second quarter. Got themselves in second and medium situations and take a little pressure off Damon Allen.
2nd and 5. Lions at the 42 with a 2-point lead. They have yet to dominate in this game. Here's Damon Allen looking for a little space. He's got it, but not quite for a first down. Well, it'll depend where they spot it. Jason Lamar chased him down there.
Well, you know, there's a couple of Lions up front I mentioned earlier that would love to have a big game here tonight. If, in fact, it is their last in BC Place. Jamie Terrace, one of them. He's right at the center position. Working right here on the great rookie for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Jamie Terrace. You don't want to play bad in your last game.
Terrace, a 15-year veteran out of Western. He came into the Canadian Football League as a fullback.
Absolutely. Then
lost a little speed, went to tight end, lost a little more speed, beefed up a little more, and then went to the offensive line where he's been twice nominated.
Well, yeah, but when you ask Jamie Terrace, he didn't lose speed, he just gained strength.
Well, yeah.
And that's why he moved along there, yeah.
Telling us a couple of weeks ago that his wife was wondering, you know, what happened to the cute Jamie Terrace now that he's bulked up a little bit. He was saying, I'm not as cute as I used to be. So
he is strong, and he has been one of the community leaders here. This is a guy in the off season will make over 70 appearances in the community per year, and they asked him, could you, over the course of your career, which is 15 years, all with the BC Lions, could you get a ballpark figure on how many appearances you've made in the community? He said, I have no idea. It'd be in the thousands. It would be literally in the thousands. And he's just been a great ambassador of the Canadian Football League throughout his career.
Yeah, and if this is the season that he retires, the CFL and the BC Lions will miss him. Likely played this year because of the Grey Cup success last year. Now, that was a shovel pass.
Yeah, incomplete.
Incomplete. And was thinking about retiring last year and decided to come back. Not Ledbetter. We were talking about Terrace there. Finishing that thought. It's the Lions on top of the Ticats, 7-5. It's Wendy CFL Live from Vancouver. Eric Tillman's team may be called the Ottawa Renegades. He's missing from the panel picture because he's retired from TV. So this is the final night for the panel, too, until Grey Cup week. So they'll be around at halftime.
Entire panel will be in Montreal.
That could be a little dangerous, you know.
I think we could have some fun there. A couple of giggles.
Nice pass by Cody Ledbetter for a first down. Jeff Johnson made the catch, his first of the night.
Jeff Johnson gets a chance to play as well with Troy Davis gone. He lines up there as a receiver with no backs in the backfield for Cody Ledbetter. And Johnson carrying the ball 36 times heading into this game this year. Just close to a 4-yard rushing average.
And one big game for the Tiger Cats after Ronald Williams left town. Got to start the following week and had a huge game for Hamilton. Ledbetter decided to run himself. It might have been a little ill-advised. He has a yard and takes a hit. David Benefield was waiting.
You know, in one thing, you wonder why the Lions haven't responded a little bit better to the situation they're in right now. The other side of the coin is that both these teams played what, 48, 72 hours ago?
Well, they both played Saturday.
Yeah.
And the Lions in Pacific time. You want to think about it that way.
That is tough on the legs.
Ledbetter on second down. He has Akins. And Akins is wrapped up with a penalty marker down. That's Derek Lewis making the tackle.
Now Derek Lewis held Akins short of the first down. And I think the Lions may be offside, which will keep the Hamilton drive alive.
1:36 to go.
Offside. BC 91. Second down repeated.
Herman Smith is at the top of your screen, and he didn't jump. It looks like he had his hand in the neutral zone before the snap of the football. Brent Johnson was on the opposite side. Herman Smith to the right of your screen. That keeps the Hamilton drive alive. Steve Barato set it up. We continue to hurt ourselves.
Second down and 5. Ticats at the 50. Challenge for the BC defense here as Ledbetter decides to take off. And he comes up short again. Taking a couple of pretty good hits. Baron Simpson was there that time.
Well, basically, Cody Ledbetter had 2 players in the pass patterns, Trevor Shaw and Archie Amerson. And when he saw 6 defenders for the Lions drop into coverage, he thought, 6 against 2, I don't like the odds. I better try and run for the first down. Couldn't come up with it. And watch Baron Simpson, number 51, close in a hurry on Cody Ledbetter.
Osbaldiston is in, playing in his 266th CFL game here tonight. 3rd all-time in scoring. 8 points back of Mark McLaughlin. There's Simon back for the Lions at about his 2. Ozzie talking about strained calf muscle. Will have to run to get back to this one, and he does well to fall on it. He was talking about his strained calf muscle. I said, how are you doing? He says, well, I've only got one muscle, and it's strained. How do you think I feel?
And it doesn't help when the ball sails over his head on a punt formation. Then he has to turn around and run. It's one thing to kick with a strained calf. It's another thing to try and turn around and run knowing you're going to get hit in the back.
Did a pretty good job to corral that ball. Oh, oops.
Well,
here we go.
John, the Lions will not get a better opportunity than they have right now with 1:04 left. Remember, on Saturday, they blew an opportunity going in at halftime to put points on the board against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, about this much time was on the clock when they got possession. From the 30, first down, Millington outside. Good run for Sean Millington. He's down to the 20. Jason Lamar made the stop there.
The Lions still have their timeout in the first half. 59 seconds left. They have plenty of time to run their entire offense. In other words, run the ball if they need to. Play action if they need to. They don't need to rush this.
It'll be 2nd and 1 facing the Lions. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Ticats a costly turnover in the dying moments of the first half. Enough for the first down. It's Millington again, and it's Lamar meeting him again.
Jason Lamar with a little extra push at the end of that tackle. You see now Steve Barato becoming a little more involved, calling the plays for Damon Allen.
Watching the clock, too.
Yeah, and telling him to be careful with the clock.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There was no time clock in the end zone last Saturday night, right?
No. But that's no excuse.
No, I mean, you can look the other way, but it had burned out. Here's Millington.
You know, and interesting there, David Rivers came in the game for Damon Allen. Now, I think that Steve Barado just wanted to chat with Damon Allen and remind him of the clock management problem he had on Saturday.
You're exactly right.
Give David Rivers one down to hand the ball to Millington, and then come in and keep your eye on that clock. And now it's running with 20 seconds to go.
He's got to go for 3 plays.
He wasn't hurt.
Second down. 5 to go. Allen on the run.
And throws it away with 9 seconds left. That allowed the field goal team to get out. One crack at the end zone for Damon Allen. He runs a little play action, tried to get Jimmy Oliver on the outside. If he's not there, throw the ball away and get the field goal team on the field. At least you come away with points.
Which is what
they didn't do on
Saturday. Saturday at halftime.
See, and again, there's the patterns. You got Mike Maurer in coverage, and there's Jimmy Oliver covered well by Troy Saunders.
Blocked. Comes loose. Manteca down to the 2-yard line on the recovery. Is there time? There's 4 seconds on the clock. But of course, it was blocked by the Tiger Cats and recovered by the Lions.
The surge up the middle for the Ticats, and pretty good vertical jump in there. I thought it was Jason Lamar that got both hands up in there. Well, it could have been Gerald Vaughn as well, who has a couple of blocked punts on the season. Now the Ticats get the football back.
Well, we'll see how they rule it, because the Ticats lost possession when they couldn't come up with a fumble, did they not? Sure. First down for the Lions. Manteca had the opportunity to score, so another crack at the field goal.
That's right. That's because it went back across the line of scrimmage.
Right. Yeah, it was blocked, right? It didn't cross the line of scrimmage. So what do you do here?
4 seconds to go on the 4-yard line.
Field goal or power it in. 4 seconds to go. Only time for one play.
Kick the field goal.
Power it in. You've got to be safe.
Kick the field goal.
The kind of year it's been for the Lions, you have to take the 3 when you can get it.
You got your backup quarterback as the holder. Maybe you fake the field goal.
Rivers will hold. Kellett will kick. This combination had a difficult time against Winnipeg at one point this season and lost the game on a play like this on the very final play of the ball game. But this time it works. Kellett has the 3 points for the Lions, and it wasn't exactly a scintillating first half for BC, but it's a 5-point lead.
Under the category of ugly but effective.
Not as ugly as Saturday's.
No.
Lions have the lead 10-5. Hang on for a report from Sports Center.
Wendy's CFL live at the half. Brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. This day in the CFL.
November 6, 1993. Dave Archer and the Gold Miners taking on the BC Lions. Here's Mike Oliphant with a 5-yard major. Sacramento up by 13. Then later in the game, Archer hands off to Mike Pringle. And Pringle has a chance to go all the way. He does. 45 yards. The Gold Miners rout the Lions 64-27.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Dodge. For power, payload, and big rig styling, nothing beats a Dodge truck.
Well, the CFL playoffs begin this Sunday. Here are the semifinal matchups as they sit right now. The East matchup has been set for a couple of weeks now. The Montreal Alouettes, who have lost 7 in a row. Their last 7 regular season playoff games will be at Iverwin to take on the Ticats, who will be playing their 3rd game in a little over a week. Then the Stamps are kind of sitting at home, waiting to see are they going to be playing the Argos or the Lions. We do know it will be at McMahon Stadium. Maddie, let's talk about the Stamps first. They're coming off a real positive performance, a win Friday night against the Bombers.
That's right, and I'm Wally Buono, George Cortez, Mike Roach, the 2 coordinators for the Calgary Stampeders. I'm asking myself, come on, give us a little bit more on this. This first half hasn't shown them anything as to who they're going to play, but they do know this. Whether it's the Argos or the BC Lions, both teams have good records against Calgary this year. Toronto is 2-0. And BC is 2-1. So you look at whoever they face, they're going to be in tough. They got to eliminate the past, have a short memory, and concentrate on the future. And I guarantee it right now, this football team, George Cortez, Mike Roach, Wally Buono, is working their tails off trying to prep for whoever it may be. Toronto's sitting at home going, come on, Hamilton.
Hey, listen, they've already prepared for both of them. I know those guys down there, they're ready to go. But the team that really, I don't know if they can do it, are the Montreal Alouettes. I mean, the 7 consecutive losses, how do they change that mindset that quickly going into Hamilton? They're going to have to change their performance 180 degrees to beat the Ticats. One of the issues in this game is who scores first. If Montreal scores first, you're going to see some optimism. If Hamilton scores first, you're going to see a huge amount of confidence. I like Hamilton. I like their linebackers, Lamar and Schelling and Woodson. They're 3, 7, and 10 in the Canadian Football League in terms of tackles. They're tackling machines as 3 linebackers. One of the issues, 3 games in 9 days for the Hamilton Ticats, it won't really mean that much because the anxiety, the energy, the anticipation of the playoff game, that overrides whatever pain, injuries, or situations are going on in your mind. They'll be ready to go.
Meantime, there's one other team in the East, the Argos, sitting watching this game. I think they like what they see so far, as BC is only up by 5. They don't look particularly sharp, but there's a whole half to come. And we're going to get there right after this break. Only 1 touchdown so far. It's 10-5 BC. All right, here are the halftime numbers brought to you by Dodge. Manny, what do you see over there?
Well, what I see right here is Damon Allen struggled last week with 90 yards passing. He's got 29 in the first half. Adam Reeder, the general manager, says the BC Lions go as he goes. This just got awful right here. Net yards, Hamilton, BC. This is week 18 and a half. Isn't that what you said, Dave? They've got to be better than that.
Well, Steve Barretta will take the 5-point lead. He chatted with Farhan Lalti.
Thank you very much. Well, Coach, for the second straight game, things get a little hairy right there before the end of the break.
Well, they had to be offside if you get that far up in there to block that field goal. I was, they kicked it a little bit. We may have a chance to go for an attempt to the end zone if we had a little more time. But 4 seconds, just take the 3 points that we should have had in the first place. But again, we get a punt return, we get a penalty. We've had some big plays on offense. We've had holding calls. We got to make better decisions. We got to quit committing penalties.
Offensively, you're only 5 points up. The offense really doesn't appear to be in sync. Do you plan to get more involved in the play calling in the second half?
Well, a lot of our offenses, we had a little protection problem in the beginning, but most of it's been the plays we get. We've had penalties. We had big plays come back on penalties. That's a good defensive football team. We've created some things, but protection has been a problem.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, it's all going to come down to the second half for the Lions or the Argos. Who's going to the playoffs? Stick around for the conclusion to this exciting story coming up right after this.
Lions have the lead, but Steve Barretto's team is not doing it the easy way. It's only a 5-point advantage at the half. Here's Farhan.
Thank you very much, Coach. First of all, just some thoughts on the play of your quarterback.
You can tell he has some rust, and he's done some good things, he's done some bad things, and we just haven't had the opportunity to get down there enough. We've got down there and we turned it over once, but it's great for him. I think that he'll come back now. He's had a chance to relax. He'll come back in third quarter.
What about your approach for the second half? More than anything else, do you just want to get healthy and get out?
No. I mean, we're in a ball game. I mean, we're only down 5 points. Like I just told them, we get the opening kickoff. We're receiving. Let's get a good return. Let's take it down. Let's go ahead. I'll make them come back after us.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Okay, thanks.
That's Ron Lancaster for you in a nutshell. No, we're in a game here. We want to go out and win this football game, and Steve Barretto has to.
Well, here's what's on the line for the Ticats. I mean, nothing that they can really gain except a 12-win season is pretty nice. They're sitting at 11-6. For the Lions, of course, they need a point, and they're in the playoffs. Win or a tie tonight, and the Argonauts are gone.
Yeah, and this Ticat team wants to go into the playoffs on a winning note. There's no question they won 7 of their last 9. The hottest team down the stretch in the Canadian Football League.
There's no question about that. The Tiger Cats have really peaked at the right time, and tonight's game, in one sense, will not be an indication because of the players who are not involved in it, including the starting quarterback. Second half is underway. Ticats looking for a nice return, and they get decent yardage from Tony Akins. There's a penalty marker down on the return, 20 yards for Akins, and here's how the QBs stack up.
You heard Ron Lancaster talk about Cody Ledbetter's performance. 6 of 15, just 72 yards. He threw the 1 interception to Warner Herndon. But look at Damon Allen. Expect more from Damon Allen.
Yeah, you really have to. Holding is the call against the Tiger Cats on the return, and those numbers are not good enough for Damon Allen and the BC Lions to really feel confident if they're managed to get out of this game and go out of the playoffs.
And I mentioned it in the opening, but he can't do it alone. I mean, Damon Allen has to get some receivers open down the field, and he has to continue to have success on first down. That's not been the problem. It's the second down that's been hurting him.
And the Tiger Cats have struggled in that area. Ledbetter can't find a target. Now throwing on the run. And he missed Andrew Grigg by about 6 yards. Grigg is having his best season, over 1,000 yards for the first time.
Well, Cody Ledbetter got outside of contain, got a chance to throw the football, and had Andrew Grigg open. The ones, if he just relaxes a little bit, he'll get it to his 1,000-yard receiver. First time for Andrew Grigg, like you mentioned, John, and breakout season for him, and congratulations on a solid year in a receiving corps other than him and Darren Flutie that have struggled a little bit.
Yeah, it really has been a group that has dropped some footballs. There's what catch for Grigg, and he'll turn it into a first down.
Carl Kidd made Cody Ledbetter pay for this first down. Kidd comes up limping. He comes from the left side of your screen, and watch Carl Kidd hit Cody Ledbetter as he delivers this football clean through what's called the B gap, for be careful. See, the A gap is there between the center and tackle. The B gap is between the tackle and the guard, and that's be careful, Cody, because I'm coming.
First and 10. Ledbetter got a hit after handing off. Helped to his feet by Cameron Legault. I think Legault fell for the fake and thought Ledbetter still had the ball.
7 sacks on the season heading into this game for Cameron Legault. You'll see him little step to the outside on Dave Hack. He goes through and tackles Cody Ledbetter behind the play. This is what Ledbetter felt. He tried to run out of there, and Legault thought he still had the football and put him on his keister.
Well put. 2nd and 5. Ledbetter got more pressure. He's picked off at the 50 this time. Curtis Anderson, tough to bring down. Morreale got over to make the tackle. That one floated right to Anderson. 2nd interception by the Ticats.
Fairness to Cody Ledbetter, he has had pressure in his face all game long, and it's very tough to complete a pass or at least be accurate on a throw when you have David Benefield and Herman Smith again bearing down on you. Basically, again, you're just trying to get rid of that football and then take cover. Can't be quite as accurate because you can see Darren Flutie opened up at the end of that pattern. Curtis Anderson just read the football and went to it.
So the Lions get their hands on the football at the 50. Robert Drummond ran into Montfort, Mathis, and another Ticat down there. Gain of 1.
You know, this Hamilton defense, holding BC right now in a must-win game to 10 points with a couple of backups. Remember, they don't have Chris Schilling. Joe Mumford, of course, the leader in that group, a dominant player, likely beyond the podium representing the East, although I feel that Jerome Bolden has had
he really has had a terrific year.
Very good year in Winnipeg. But this defense is primed and ready for the playoffs.
on the run. Has Denny Montana, and that'll be a first down. Montana wrapped up by Troy Saunders.
You know, Chris Schelling, what a season he's had for this team, and he's not here, stayed back at home, but Jason Lamar, Sean Woodson have really emerged. Jason Lamar, a rookie, and Don Southern's defensive backfield, the linebacking core. Sean Woodson, that great game you mentioned this weekend with 3 interceptions. You know, and then up front with Joe Montford and Gonzalo Floyd. So right now, you're looking at a Hamilton defense that is primed for that playoff game. Now, can they recover in the short week is the question, and you don't want to get nicked with a half to play here in BC.
Plus the travel involved.
Yeah.
All the way back.
Well, they miss
Vancouver to Toronto tomorrow, and then bus to Hamilton.
They miss a day of preparation is the biggest problem for the Tigers.
Midweek. Robert Drummond stuffed in the backfield.
Well, guys, Alfred Jackson just came back into the game. He missed the first 2 plays of this half. I spoke to the team doctors. He says that on the pass interference play in the first quarter, he took a direct shot to the patellar tendon in his left knee. It's the knee that's been bothering him. He will try to go. It just depends on the formation, depends on the play. He'll be in and out for most of the afternoon. Carl Kidd also re-injured his hamstring on the Lions' last defensive series. We'll see if he'll be back later on, but that would be a big blow to the Lions' defense.
Especially with Toya Jones already out of the lineup. Carl Kidd replaced Jones.
2nd and 10, Lions. Drummond got one hand on it, couldn't bring it home.
Again, I talk about that Hamilton defense. Jason Lamar, the rookie in the linebacking core, who's really had a tremendous season as well. He was in coverage there with Robert Drummond and just wouldn't let him out. Wouldn't let him out getting that screen, because if Drummond got in behind him, he had lots of running room. Those are the one-on-one matchups that you have to win games.
Martino is in, standing near midfield. Amerson, the key return guy for the Tiger Cats. Martino has to dig it out. And he angles it away from Jeff Johnson. There'll be no return for the Tiger Cats. Pretty good punt by Martino to pin him deep. It's the Lions on top by 5 on Wendy's CFL Live. Back at the stadium at BC Place, where the Lions are trying to avoid this list. Win the Grey Cup and then miss the playoffs the next year. Argonauts of 91 didn't. So did the Tiger Cats of 72 and 73. Now the common denominator there, at the top of the page, Adam Rita coached the Argonauts.
It's been 30 years, and Adam Rita does not want to be on that list.
No. And he's the general manager of the Lions. On first down, it's Amerson. Nice seam, nice hole opens up for Archie Amerson. 13 yards.
Didn't look like the BC Lions were set up in this formation properly. Pretty nice block at the point of attack right there on Barron Simpson. Mike Mihaly with that block.
Ticats now out at the 20 with a first down.
Carl Kidd is in the game for the Lions now.
This is Amerson again.
You know, and this is valuable reps for Cody Ledbetter, just in case something happens to Danny McManus in that Eastern semifinal versus Montreal on Sunday. Cody Ledbetter getting some reps, but has Danny McManus been hot this year or what? We've talked a lot about Kahari Jones as a front runner for outstanding player. There's another candidate right there.
Well, he's over 4,000 yards for the 7th time, and that's a CFL milestone. He really gets the job done. Here's Ledbetter looking deep. Flutie can't catch up with it. But back to McManus. 7 4,000-yard seasons. And when you look at his ratio of touchdowns to interceptions, it's vastly improved this year. Just 9 interceptions.
That's why this team is so confident heading into the playoffs. 7th consecutive year, like you said, over 4,000. That's a CFL record. This year, Danny McManus threw 9 interceptions. Throughout his career, he's averaged over 20 per season as a starter through those 7 years with over 4,000. So he's cut down on the interceptions. and really having an outstanding year.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
he
is.
should be a candidate for the most outstanding player.
Well, and
very, very likely could be. Absolutely.
Simon is back. Osbaldiston hammers this one down to the 35. G-Roy Simon. Well, he lost yards. Snowed under by a couple of Ticats. Smith was there leading the way. -11 on the return after a 53-yard punt. It's Damon's turn when we return. Sports Center, Red and Price following us on TSN tonight, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific time. All the news from the world of baseball. A couple of hockey highlights in there, too. Did your Canucks win tonight?
They hung on. They were clinging to a 3-2 lead against Columbus, and I think they hung on and won it.
Apparently, you're correct.
Columbus, come on, give me a break.
Damon Allen has had a tough night so far. It will continue. He has only completed 4 passes. Jimmy Oliver was his target there.
Yeah, and Jimmy Oliver going down the sideline had coverage right on him. I mean, take a look at the coverage there by Diedrich Mathis. I mean, receivers somehow have got to shake their defensive backs. I mean, the job of the receiver is to get open, and that may sound simple, but I just find it very hard to believe that Damon Allen, who has more passing yards than anyone in the history of this game, is struggling at 4 of 10, 44 yards, and he's not. I don't think he's getting much help.
2nd and 10, facing Allen now. Got it away for Robert Drummond. Drummond broke one, can't get away from the second Ticat tackler, and the gain is limited to 5. Dwayne Butler stopped Drummond that time. So a precarious 5-point lead for the Lions.
Well, let's take a look at this receiving corps. Now hold it right there, guys, if you can. Look at this. Coverage there. Coverage there. He's sitting off. That's the backside of the play. 2 guys covering there. I mean, these receivers have got to get some distance. They got to open up. If Damon Allen wants to drop back and deliver football, he's got to find an open man.
This will be the 7th punt for Tony Martino, so that's not good news for BC either. Amerson is back near the 35.
How do you think the Toronto Argonauts are feeling right now? They must be loving this.
Well, they're hanging in. Amerson wrapped up at the 40, a 5-yard return after a 42-yard punt. Mike Crum leading the tacklers that time.
That takes one big play from Andrew Grigg in this game, and the Ticats have the lead. And, you know, the way they're playing defensively, it may be a lead that they could hold on to. And that would mean the Argos are in the West.
If the Ticats win, Toronto Argonauts will be at Arundel campus tomorrow morning, first thing.
Had a walk through. They've been watching some film to be ready. Ron Lancaster will have to take that long trip back and prepare for Montreal.
From the 42, Ticats first down. Ledbetter. Nice fake. Looking deep, far side. Coverage was a little too tight. Mike Morielli was the target, and Eric Carter had a shot at it.
Yeah, Eric Carter really didn't have anyone to cover up in his zone, so he just fell off of his zone and went and helped out on Mike Morielli. That's one of the ways that the veteran can get some interceptions, is to be reading the quarterback and just flow to the football. And Eric Carter has not been the problem for the Lions this year. They're all on the line now.
2nd and 10. Ledbetter looks to the near side. He's got Johnson bounced off his hands.
See, now that's Cody Ledbetter was hammered again by Carl Kidd, who hasn't been kidding around all game.
No, he
has to rushing the quarterback.
But here's the deal about this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. I mean, Danny McManus is the master of the quick release. He doesn't get hit many times a game, or in a season for that matter.
It's a pretty good read and release by Cody Ledbetter, but you can see the hit by Kidd, and that's a catch that has to be made. That's right near first down territory.
So Osbaldiston, standing at his 25, will kick it away.
Heads up.
Mike Fletcher reversing his field and losing yards. Jason Lamar leading the Ticat tacklers. Lions on top by 5. 5:37 to go in the third.
Well, this is our last telecast for TSN of a football game, and just for a second, you know, while we watch Damon Allen here, I think there's some thank yous that have to be made, because there's a lot of people involved with putting on a football game other than you and I, John.
Here's Robert Drummond. Special thanks to our producers, Paul McLean and John Hines.
Paul Hemming, our director. Andy Boyukas, our director as well.
On stats, Dave Moyer, John Russell.
Now Dave Moyer's the guy who does all the math for us. Dave Stiff, Tony Darchie.
In charge of things back at TSN CFL Control, Chris Edwards, who's getting married soon.
Kevin Pratt.
Steve Arbitrante, Mark Plume.
Karen Latanzio. Jan Staniszewski.
All helped a great deal.
And you know what it is? It's a whole bunch of people that have a lot of passion for the Canadian Football League, that do a lot of work outside of the regular work hours to make sure that the game is presented properly to the fans. And we've really, I mean, I'm going to take a second to pat ourselves on the back here. Just wait, I'm reaching around. I mean, we've had a record-breaking year in Wendy's Friday Night Football for our audience, and it's a lot of people behind the scenes that don't get credit for it.
Are you taking a bow here, or what are you doing?
No, I was patting you on the back.
Oh, okay.
And you've been outstanding this year, by the way.
Oh, you've had your best season by far. By far.
All right.
Damon Allen has not had his best, but he's on the money to Jimmy Oliver there, and it'll be a crucial BC Lions first down. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun all season long. Some great games. Now, we've had a couple of turkeys lately, but
well, no, but
darn, it was great in the early three quarters of the season.
For Wendy's Friday Night Football, we've been pretty lucky.
They've been all
season long, great games, and Steve Barrato would like to see his team finish strong here this evening and see if we can't create a great game out of this one.
Allen, I believe, got them to jump offside.
But it has been a lot of fun, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes, not to mention cameramen and technicians and everything else that put a lot of work into it.
Well, this doesn't happen often. The opportunity for one team to go from one conference to grab a playoff spot on the other, but the Argos are hanging in here tonight. Currently in third spot, so if the Lions lose, the Argos will be in Calgary on Sunday to take on the Stampeders. And this guy's had one tough year, without question. Injuries have come at the wrong time, but every team has had injuries, Glenn.
Yeah, and look at the Edmonton Eskimos.
And
no team has suffered more injuries than the Edmonton Eskimos, and they're sitting in first place right now. They have battled through those injuries. This team is not. And, you know, it's tough to win the Grey Cup. It's that much tougher to win it second time in a row.
Yeah, defending is a lot more difficult. And there's Millington dropping one that would have been about a 7-yard gain on 2nd and 15.
Damon Allen will be ripped again at the end of this game. But is this Damon Allen's fault? That puts you in first and probably 8 if Millington catches that, or 2nd and 8.
Second and 8, yeah.
Millington catches that one. You know, and I'm certainly not defending Damon Allen over Saturday's game. I thought it was his worst personally in probably a couple years now. However, you need some help. There's 12 guys on the field.
2nd and 15. Allen somehow escaped. He's got Drummond, and he overthrew him. Well, that was Allen's fault. He had Robert Drummond breaking free, and Allen had time to get it away, and he just overthrew him.
Well, he had time because of a pretty good block up front by Jamie Terrace, who picks up Joe Mumford, and that allows Damon Allen to get outside. Then he tries to lob one in there to Robert Drummond, and he just overthrows him. But watch the pickup by Jamie Terrace, possibly playing in his last game here in BC Place Stadium, as he picks up Joe Mumford on that stunt.
Frustration continues for Damon Allen. Martino nails it to Amerson. Loose ball. Who's got it? Of course, the Lions say they have. Amerson lost the handle.
They're still fighting for it. It's NBC ball.
Well, the Lions needed a bit of a break, without question. And finally, a little something to cheer about here at BC Place. Warner Herndon.
I'm not sure, John, if Archie Amerson didn't take a quick peek down the field to see where the hole was that he wanted to run to. Here's Amerson right there. Now, did he look down the field? He sure did. He glanced to his left, saw that hole, but then took his eyes off the football. Big Mike Maurer right in the middle of that pile.
There's Herndon coming up with a loose ball down there. The fumble recovery. Amerson drops it. Herndon picks it up. Lions are set up inside the 10. First and goal to go at the Ticats 7. Millington is halfway there.
And if the Lions don't score a major offensively, there may be a riot here in BC Place.
Well, we watched them in Calgary 10 days ago, and the Lions looked absolutely terrific. They ended up with a pretty good crowd Saturday night for the Saskatchewan game, and then, well, the rest of that story is history.
Well,
Rough Riders scored 42 unanswered points and whipped them.
They went into Calgary and beat the Stampeders 34-16 in their part.
Second and goal inside the 5. Markers are down. End zone. Sean Millington.
What's the penalty?
We'll have to check out the infraction.
Craig Hendrickson thinks Gonzalo Floyd was offside. Floyd thinks that Hendrickson drew him offside.
Offside. Hamilton, 90.
Aaron Williams was offside.
Touchdown.
You can see him jump 93. Aaron Williams, there's the step. Trying to anticipate the snap count down there and create some penetration. He gets to the outside, and look at the block by Jamie Terrace. Just enough on the outside to spring Millington to that end zone.
So the Lions get the touchdown on the turnover. 17-5 BC leading the Tiger Cats. It's Millington into the end zone from about 4 yards out.
John, at the end of a game, and definitely at the end of a career, you want to be able to be like a painter. Sign your painting at the end and be proud of your game. And Jamie Terrace gets outside here on Dwayne Butler, gets just enough of him to spring Sean Millington to the end zone. If he doesn't make that block there, Millington is held well short. And so far, watching Jamie Terrace, he can be proud of the painting he's creating here tonight.
Yeah, he's had a couple of real nice plays. The block on Montford a while back. Bought a little time.
You walk away from the game if, in fact, Jamie Terrace does this at the end of the year. You want to feel like you played your best as you left. And, boy, he's played some great years here in BC.
Anderson drives it down to the 15. This is Akins. Tony Akins. Out of bounds near the 40. Lions had the opportunity because Archie Amerson misjudged this return.
Well, see how he glanced right there to the left, looked up the field, dropped the football, and Warner Herndon, who already has an interception in this game comes up with that fumble recovery that leads to this. A nice block by Terrace, and Millington gets into the end zone.
1:43 to go, third quarter.
And the hopes for a team in Ontario are sinking a little bit.
It's not over yet. 17-5. Lions on top of the Cats. Ledbetter keeps it on the ground. Jeff Johnson, the ball carrier. Not much room for Johnson there. Well, is there any relief at that Lions bench?
Well, you know, I would think still concern from Steve Barato. This is a team that offensively continues to struggle. Yeah, they get the big turnover down on the doorstep, but this is a team that may be heading into the playoffs. And I say it maybe backing into the playoffs.
2nd and 9. Ledbetter got some heat from Smith. And a flag comes down on the hit by Smith on Cody Ledbetter.
He's going to get a late hit. Right now, the Hamilton Tiger Cats would be punting the football.
Major foul. Roughing the passer. BC 91. First down.
Crunch time.
Very close, but, you know.
Protect the quarterback.
Yeah, and you can't defend Herman Smith, even as close as it was, because the refs have called it that way all year long. I mean, Herman Smith should not be surprised by the way they called that. If there's any chance for you to pull up a little bit, even make it look like you're trying to put the brakes on, they may not call it.
Ticats out near midfield. Jeff Johnson again. For a gain of a couple.
You know, and the other side of the coin is Steve Brado's got to be confident with his defense. His defense has played well all season long. He's got a stud middle linebacker in Barron Simpson. His linebacking core is quick. That's not his concern. His concern is still, and has been for a few weeks, his offense.
2nd and 8. Ticats at the Lions 53. Ledbetter too far.
See, Herman Smith learned a lesson there.
Archie Amerson was the intended receiver.
See, Herman Smith was looking right at the back of Cody Ledbetter as he delivered that ball and stopped immediately.
Final play of the 3rd quarter with the Lions fighting for their playoff lives on top of the Ticats 17-5.
Wendy, CFL live at the quarter.
Well, Archie Amerson, a guy who was with the Argos earlier this season, has just dealt the Argos playoff hopes a serious blow. It's now a 12-point deficit heading into the 4th quarter, unless Cody Ledbetter can lead the Ticats back, Schultze.
Boy, and it's going to be tough because Cody struggled for a variety of reasons. Some of them have been really heavy hits early in the football game. Other have been just poor throws on his part. You see, this is about the 1st or 2nd series of the game, and 2 in a row. I mean, it's tough to release a football. He overthrows it there. Comes back, this one's a little bit too high over the receiver, and it just goes on and on and on. Here he sets his feet, but it slips out of his hands. There's no velocity on that one. A fumble, you don't know whether that's the center or whether that's the quarterback. It's usually a combination. Here he receives the ball, has to run almost a shotgun situation down the field, overthrows his receiver, but that one the receiver could have made a better effort for. It just keeps going on and on in terms of the situation between the quarterback and Cody Ledbetter, the receiver. Danny McManus will lead this team into the playoffs, and he has had a fantastic year. It was tough for Cody Ledbetter to come off the bench with limited playing time and really have an outstanding game, and I think that was evident in those highlights, Matty.
Oh, sure it is, Chris. Yeah, he's a little rusty. He hadn't played in a long time because Danny McManus has been having such a fantastic career. But it's not because he's not getting a lack of advice on the sidelines. Here you see Darren Flutie and Andrew Grigg just getting in his ear. I know their intentions are well and good, but it's probably best if that was Danny McManus and Ronnie Lancaster Jr. because right now, Cody Ledbetter's head is swimming, and he just needs to settle down and start getting some first downs. And when you get in that situation, Dave, the best thing you can do is to go back to the basics and get some completions and try to get something going here in the 4th quarter.
It's kind of like when Matty and Schultze get my ear. I get overloaded sometimes. They're 15 minutes away from moving on to the postseason. The Lions taking a 12-point lead into the 4th quarter. Can they hang on? Let's find out.
Numbers after 3 quarters, not real pretty.
Well, you got a backup quarterback in one category over here with the 82, and so that's, you could justify that a little bit, but
61.
Yeah, not so on the other side. So take a look at those receivers again in this series and see if they're getting open for Damon Allen.
Osbaldiston has punted well all night long, and there's nowhere to go for G-Roy Simon. Gives up the single points.
You know, and this may be simplifying things a little bit, but I mean, 3 things have to happen. Basically, 4 things have to happen to complete a pass. Number 1, you have to get the protection up front. And Chris Schultz will tell you all about that. And that may be the most important. If you don't get protection, you can't complete many throws when you're on your back. Number 2, your quarterback has to be accurate in his delivery. Number 3, the receivers have to get open. And number 4, catch the football. So those 4 things have to happen. And if one of those breaks down, you're not going to have a successful play. The quarterback always gets the criticism.
Lions have the lead by 11, 17-6. There's movement down there, and there are flags everywhere. Farhead.
Guys, Robert Drummond is back in the game, but he's doing it with a very injured left wrist. He jammed it on the last punt in the play previous to that when he was overthrown by Damon Allen. He landed on it awkwardly, so they're calling it sprained ligaments. They were going to put a splint on the back of his hand, but they decided to just try it first with some additional tape. He seems to be okay. As for his backfield mate, Sean Millington, that last touchdown was the 50th of his career. He set the club record 2 weeks ago in Calgary. Nice way for him to finish off.
Couple of touchdowns tonight for Millington. Procedure call against the Lions makes it 1st and 15.
And if BC hangs on and wins this game, those injuries start to become a factor for them on a short week. They'd have to travel to Calgary for their playoff game.
To the far side. Why did he jump?
Four things.
Long.
John, four things have to happen. Damon Allen got one. He got protection.
Okay.
Threw an accurate pass. Number 2.
Right into the numbers.
Check that one off. The receiver was open. That's number 3. Check that one off. Number 4.
Missed number 4.
Put a big X right there. Drop the football. So here you go. Let's see. We got protection up front. Here's the snap of the ball. Protection is there. Damon Allen has time. Good protection. Now the accuracy. Here comes the throw. The throw is on time and to an open receiver. And there's number 4.
Yeah, why did he jump? Robert Drummond couldn't make the catch, so the Lions are 2 out, 2 and out again. I mean, he left his feet and the ball was right in his hands.
That's a good point. He didn't have to jump.
Looks better when you're posing for a snapshot, you know, if you're in the air, but.
Well, this pitcher offensively has been ugly so far. It's been
6 of 16, 61 yards. These guys are not ready to go to the playoffs.
It's basically been a dog's breakfast for the BC Lions. Offensively.
Lions have lost 6 or 7 of their last 9 games, 6 of their last 7. There's Amerson, dropped the last one, and that cost the Ticats a touchdown. Amerson will have to track it down. He does. 35, flags down. He's to the 40, around the corner, and out at about the 47. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Vancouver. CFL playoffs begin on Sunday. The Eastern semifinal, Lancaster and the Ticats hosting the Alouettes, that's for sure. Verado trying to get there.
Toronto still alive, but time is running out. 13 minutes, 19 seconds left. The Lions have the lead. Now, both coaches have been glancing up at the score clock, but one's watching the actual score, the other's watching the time tick away.
Batted down, a big charge from Carl Kidd. Ledbetter couldn't get it away, and Kidd has had a great night.
You know, and I know there's a lot of people in Toronto, both fans, players, and organization alike, that are wondering why Ron Lancaster wouldn't play his regulars, because I guarantee you right now, if Danny McManus and Troy Davis and the rest of them are in the game, it's a different game. However, I agree 100% with what Lancaster is doing. His concern is the playoffs.
Sunday afternoon is his concern, the semifinal.
He's got a short week. He's getting his backup quarterback some playing time.
Which Ledbetter's getting hammered.
Which is always valuable, even if you are getting hammered. And it is, to me, the right decision for Ron Lancaster to rest Danny McManus. Troy Davis, you mentioned, who's a little under the weather, so he stays home. Chris Schelling is out. Mike Philbrick didn't make the trip.
I mean, understandably, Philbrick is, slightly nicked and getting ready for Sunday.
Yeah, Darren Flutie hasn't played a whole lot in the second half. Cody Ledbetter's getting blitzed every down. He's been hurried 10 times, sacked once.
He'll be happy to get his clipboard back. Osbaldiston drives Fletcher back near the 10.
But this is the correct decision. He's got a hot team right now in the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He's got the hottest quarterback in the league in Danny McManus, who's playing tremendous football down the stretch when it means the most. And that running game has all of a sudden come alive for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as well. In fact, in the first 9 games, the Ticats were about 100 yards a game running the ball. Then they dropped off and dropped below 70. And in the last 3, they've picked it up and have been back over 100 again. Troy Davis, a big reason for that.
Well, they found the answer to Ronald Williams and Troy Davis. There's little doubt about that. Lancaster really got out on a limb when he released Ronald Williams, who ended up as an Eskimo.
You know, and before it's over, we may see Butchie Washington in the game, the third string quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Procedure, BC 19, still first down.
That's Mike Maurer. There's Butchie. That's his name.
Yeah, that's his name. Butchie Washington warming up on the sideline, so maybe he'll take a few reps. Number 1 receivers out of there, star running back.
See, if you call yourself Butch, you sound a little tougher, don't you?
Well, you go ahead and tell him. Go ahead.
Anyway,
6 foot 220.
That's what it says on the program. Millington tries the right side. Now he reverses. Does he get a block here? A pretty good hit as he crossed the 25.
Nice.
Dedrick Mathis and Kyle Walters.
Really nice block there by Mike Maurer. Gets a chance to play in the tight end position. He's a special team specialist, number 19. He blocks down first of all, then he gets up after that block as Millington reverses his field, and he's going to get a key block to give Millington some more time. I believe it's on Dwayne Butler right there to the right of your screen, number 19. Now, Maurer has been on the doorstep to become the leading tackler on special teams in the CFL. Doesn't have one yet tonight.
Coming into the game tonight, he had 34.
There he catches
the
pass.
reception.
And here's a guy that, you know, playing 11 years in Canadian football, this guy is gold. I mean, he is gold, Jerry. I'm telling you. To have a guy like Mike Maurer on your team. Mike Maurer is a guy that on every special teams goes down there and does his job. He makes the tackles for you. And if you're playing on defense as a starter, on offense as a starter, and still covering kicks, half the time you're exhausted. You just love guys like Mike Maurer.
Sean Millington has run much more effectively tonight. Musica gets over to make the tackle.
Coming into this game, Andrew Henry in Calgary was leading the CFL in special teams tackles with 35. Another nice block there by Mike Maurer. Maurer at 34. Now, according to the official stats, he does not have a tackle yet in this game tonight on special teams. But he's getting a chance to play some offensively, and maybe that's taking a little more out of him.
Couple shy of the lead in special teams tackles coming into this. Here's Damon Allen. A second down. Yes. Out of bounds. Jimmy Oliver got in behind the coverage. The pass was overthrown and out of bounds.
The Lions are going to hang on and make the playoffs. They might as well just go give the game ball to their defense right now. Because it has been a defensive effort that have put them in this position right now, 17-6.
Martino's on a different kind of contract with the Lions. He's getting paid by the punt. He's having a good night. This is number 10. Came over from the Argonauts, where he played a few games after being cut by Calgary.
Whoa, Gerald Vaughn.
Who's blocked it? Here's Amerson returning for the Ticats. Nowhere to run. Lyle Green led the tacklers that time. 9:40 to go. Ledbetter is out for more. Are they Tiger Cat fans or Lion fans? Those are Tiger stripes, Glenn.
Can I go to a lifeline on that one? There's your line score. Lions on a turnover with that last touchdown down in the Hamilton end of the field. I want to make a quick correction. I said it was Andrew Henry that led the CFL. It was actually Aldi Henry in Calgary. I know Aldi Henry would make sure he talked to me about that.
Nice fake by Ledbetter. Has a man open far side. He'll get big yardage out of this play to Corey Grant. So Ledbetter really set this one up rather perfectly with a nice fake.
Well, it was the fake that kept the Lions off him, because they have hurried throws, and pretty much it seems every time Cody Ledbetter has tried to deliver the ball, he's been hit.
25 yards the game.
Whoa, high snap.
Jeff Johnson broke one tackle. Nice run by Johnson. Cameron Legault leading the Lion tacklers there. He's the top Canadian on this team without question. And Glenn's talked about it quite a bit, but this Lion defense has not been the problem with this team.
Yeah, no,
Legault's had a great year with 7 sacks. Baron Simpson, Defensive Player of the Week, should be the Lions nominee for Rookie of the Year.
Well, John, they've improved this year over last year in every defensive category, and part of the reason for that, or maybe the main reason, is Baron Simpson in the middle.
One of the best run stoppers in the league. Here's Ledbetter. Open again. Andrew Grigg.
113 tackles, a couple sacks. Baron Simpson, 3 fumble recoveries. On the interception list. This is a guy who, Gary Echeverry's talked about him a couple times this year. He says, boy, if I knew I was going to get the play out of Baron Simpson that I've got this year, I would be a little excited coming into training camp. You never know with a rookie. You just never, especially in a key position like middle linebacker. He not only plays in there in the heat of the battle, it's also the guy that has to make all the calls and then make a tackle like that behind the line of scrimmage. You know,
Baron Simpson on Jeff Johnson right there.
He makes the calls. He makes the checks. In other words, if the offense comes out on the line of scrimmage and shows a different formation, he'll check things on the fly, and then this guy definitely has a nose to the football, and Cameron Legault was in on that tackle as well. So Echeverry obviously very pleased with Cameron Legault, who's had a breakout year, and Baron Simpson, the rookie middle linebacker.
.7:48 to go in the final quarter at BC Place. Final game of the season here in Vancouver. The Lions get one more kick at getting back to defend their Grey Cup championship. They need a win or a tie here tonight against the Tiger Cats, who continue this march. 2nd and 8.
Big down here for Ledbetter.
Ledbetter may have a little running room. Now looks to fire. He's got Greg at the 1. Andrew Greg made the catch, and this one isn't over yet. Nice play by Greg to come back to his quarterback.
The line of scrimmage was the 37-yard line, and Cody Ledbetter was so close to stepping over it as he delivered this throw. He comes up through the middle there. He's flushed out of the pocket, and he's right about the 38. So he just had enough, a yard to spare as he delivered the ball, and Andrew Grigg makes a nice adjustment. That's better composure from Cody Ledbetter.
All the way down to the 1. It's 1st and goal to go. Ticats from there. Johnson has the touchdown. Jeff Johnson.
It's not over yet, Toronto. It's not over yet, Toronto.
7:04 to play. Johnson into the end zone. Ticats are thinking about a 2-point convert here.
Well, at 17-12, you have a 5-point difference. The single makes it 4. You still need the touchdown. You need the touchdown to win if it's a 4-point game. The 2-point convert makes it a field goal, now ties you. So definitely a good decision from Ron Lancaster to go for 2 in this situation.
3 receivers to the near side. Ledbetter fires it in. Missed his target. It was Mike Morielli. Warner Herndon was covering there. Ticats aren't through yet. It's Jeff Johnson into the end zone. Ticats close to within 5. Andrew Grigg, a couple of nice catches so far this evening. This for 37 yards to set up the Ticat touchdown.
And I love the composure from Ledbetter to deliver the throw. And then the adjustment right there on Cedric Curry playing corner to make that catch.
Lots of time for the Ticats to get even. G-Roy Simon, this will be a nice return for the Lions. Simon across midfield, forced out by Dwayne Butler.
No flags.
Scoring drive brought to you by UPS.
Well, Butchie Washington warmed up while the Lions had the football. Cody Ledbetter came on for one more series likely, and then put a good one together. 6 plays, 77 yards, capped off by this, Jeff Johnson, touchdown. They went for 2.
Didn't quite get the 2. Ledbetter missing Morreale.
Pretty well covered, though, by Warner Herndon.
Scoring drive for UPS, moving at the speed of your business. Here are the Lions, just across the 55 in Ticat territory. Robert Drummond. And he's got better than 5.
Guys, for a Lions team that's only 5 points up and really not playing that well offensively, they're still on the verge of making the playoffs. Take a look at the Lions bench. There is absolutely no emotion, nobody pumping each other up, cheering each other on. There is none of it. A number of despondent faces. You wonder how bad they really want this.
2nd and 4. Well, Drummond wants it.
Yeah, and you know, again, I'm not trying to find an alibi for the Lions in this case. They have had a real short week, and they're probably, for some of the players, everything they can do to just get back on the field physically. But having said that, it's a great point, because this is a team that has lacked emotion over the last 9 weeks, no question. You know, the Calgary Stampeders 10 days ago basically questioned their character, and Willie Fells got the best out of Robert Drummond because of it. But other than that, it's been a BC Lion team that has played with very little emotion down the stretch.
David Allen for 9. Nice move to get to the outside.
And football is a game of emotion. You know, it's a game where you have to play at a different level physically. You get out there and you have to ask yourself, am I willing to take a 20-yard run and run straight into a guy who maybe weighs 20 pounds more than I do on the other side of the field? And that's what you've got to commit to in order to win in this game. The Lions haven't done it down the stretch, and they're hanging on right now.
Lions have to get points here to prove they're hungry. That was 2nd and 1, and Allen should have enough for the first down. I mean, when you're looking at 4:49 on the clock, you've got the Tiger Cats with really nothing on the line. You can close them out here with a touchdown for certain. Well, nothing is for certain, but I mean,
no, I hear you.
You can, you know, really almost finish them off with a couple of defensive plays following that.
Well,
but you have to keep this drive going, take some time off the clock, and add to a 5-point lead, because Ticats are a return away from getting back into this thing and getting the lead.
Mumford's not quitting. Mumford will play with emotion. Joe Mumford, you're always going to get the best of Joe Mumford. It doesn't matter if you're playing tonk in the locker room or football on the field. You'll get the best out of Joe Mumford.
Loss of 3 yards. He is the sack leader in the CFL, and that's, well, almost an annual event, is it not?
Well, he's averaged over 20 sacks 3 straight seasons.
Yeah, 26 sacks in '99. Defensive Player of the Year in 2000. 2nd down. Allen takes out. Can he get the first down? Needs a block. And playing with a little more emotion now. Where do they spot the ball? I think he's got the first down.
And David Allen took a hit there to get the first down. A hit that he didn't have to take. I mean, if he slides, he's short. He took a hit, and my point here is that if the rest of his teammates take a look at this, they should rally behind it. I mean, this is what you want from your leader. He takes off up the middle. Corey Mantika had done a nice job on Joe Mumford on the outside, and that's the hit he takes right there to get the extra 2 yards in the first down.
161 rushing yards for the Lions so far. Inside the 15, first down. Robert Drummond is inside the 5.
John, you talk about the importance of this drive. Yeah, it seals the deal for the BC Lions likely in this game, gets them in the playoffs. But maybe more importantly for Steve Barado's group, it maybe give them a little confidence, a little something to build on. You put together a drive that you cap off with a touchdown.
3-minute warning at BC Place. Lions on top. 17-12. It's Wendy's CFL Live. Here's the game story. Brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods.
On a banner night for Cody Ledbetter, but in fairness, he's improved as the game has gone on, and he's been blitzed almost every play by the Lions defensively. Millington with a couple of TDs. BC winning the rushing battle. Andrew Grigg had a nice game, or has had a nice game so far.
And a chance for another touchdown here, 2nd and inches. And the Lions
They could get the first down without
should
scoring.
have the first down. They haven't scored, obviously, but they should have the first down. And then 3 cracks at it from right there.
Who, like Farhan had just mentioned, he was injured and is playing injured right now with a bad wrist and has been instrumental in this drive here for the Lions.
First and goal, Ticats 2. There you go. Millington has 3 on the night. So the good news for the Argos, no practice tomorrow.
And that's not the good news they wanted, though. And right now they're out there starting their cars, getting ready to head home.
3 touchdowns for Sean Millington, 2:22 to go.
John, at 23-12 for BC, 24 if they make this, which they do.
12-point lead, but a flag is down. They may have to
do it again,
that.
but to make this 24-12, you know, with Danny McManus in the game, you say, hey, it's not over. There's 2:22 left and plenty of time, but
Offside. Hamilton 44, applied on a kickoff.
Well, and the other part of the story, Glenn, is with nothing on the line for the Tiger Cats.
no, he's staying.
You look
staying
at
right
it.
there.
You look at it way differently than if you were trying to secure a playoff spot or get a home field advantage.
14 is going to have that headset on until the final gun goes. And he's wearing it kind of wonky, though.
Well, he wears it at quite a jaunty angle, I think.
Yeah, see, he's not used to doing that, though. I mean, 7 seasons, over 4,000 yards. He hasn't had the headset on very often.
You know what else he hasn't had? He hasn't used the clipboard either.
And someone needs to go and explain. They got to straighten it out a little bit and bring that down. Well, we'll work on that with him. You know, and this is a team hot. You mentioned 7 wins in their last 9, going against the team in the Eastern semifinal that is not
hot.
Yeah, in the Montreal Alouettes, who have really struggled. They've made a coaching change with a week to go in the regular season, then lost that game to Edmonton.
Played better last week.
Played better. Played better.
You'd have to say that.
Rod Rust fired and replaced by Jim Pop.
Tony Akins on the return for the Tiger Cats. Ball squirted loose, but he got it back, I do believe. Shane Sharp leading the tacklers. So Butchie Washington is going to come in and mop up. For the Tiger Cats. You gotta like Lancaster's chances against the Alouettes on home turf on Sunday afternoon, in spite of the fact that they played this game tonight and will be behind in their preparation.
Well, that's going to be his biggest concern. Well, there'll be no question about that. How is his team physically? They're really not even going to get a full practice. They're going to probably have to go through a walkthrough or 2 and spend a whole bunch of time in the film room preparing for that game. And having said that, you know, you're going to have, your team is going to be tired. There's no question, but he did get some reps for Cody Ledbetter. And I honestly believe that Ledbetter improved as the game went on. He made a lot of the right reads throughout the game and had some problems with his delivery, but he also had Herman Smith, David Benefield, and the rest of that Lion defense in his lap half the game, which made it more difficult.
2nd and 10. Washington's first pass was tipped at the line. His second is complete. Trevor Shaw trying to hand it off or lateral there. Now it's loose. Lions have it. Herndon comes up with the loose ball.
Now there's a flag on the field.
Lateral, and there's penalty markers down there.
Trevor Shaw tried to lateral it. I believe it was to Jeff Johnson. Team may want to rethink that.
Illegal offside pass. Hamilton is declined. First down.
Oh, so they're saying he lateraled it forward.
Not a lot of guys would have played it that way in
No.
that situation.
No.
Trevor Shaw getting a few reps. Well, the Lions will limp into the playoffs backing up. But all you have to do is get in them.
That's right.
Anything can happen. And Steve Barato would be the first to argue that point because of what happened a year ago.
Lions won 8 times last year. They have 7 wins so far this year, so there's not much as far as the season in comparison that you can say is a lot worse, except the Lions have looked horrible in the last few weeks when last year they were winning.
Offensively.
Right? Yes,
Offensively.
okay.
Yep. But they're in.
They're in.
And that's all that matters, because in one game, anything can happen. A turnover, a blocked punt, and in a playoff game with the intensity that's involved there, likely the adrenaline will push them past the fatigue factor, and they're in a match. Now remember, 10 days ago, the BC Lions beat up on the Calgary Stampeders 34-16. Now, likely 2 things will be different.
Well, first of all, they're going to have to fix this.
Yeah,
Allen can't complete 7 of 18 for 69 yards.
Will have to play better. Well, offensively, they'll have to play better. But I guarantee you one other thing. Calgary won't say anything in the media with regards to the character of the BC Lions to give them any more motivation.
Yeah, they'll put duct tape over Willie Fell's mouth about 9 o'clock tonight whenever he's around the media, right?
There's no question. And remember, the Calgary Stampeders are coming off a nice win to get into the playoffs.
They were battling too.
That's right.
Had to beat Winnipeg.
And they beat Winnipeg with Kahari Jones playing. So, it really is an interesting matchup. You look at Calgary and BC in the playoffs, and the way their seasons have gone this year, who do you pick there? I mean, Calgary at home, and these Lions are going to be tired, so they're going to be favored.
How about the history of those 2 teams in the playoffs in the last 2 years?
No question.
Last year in the final, the Lions went into McMahon Stadium, beat the Stampeders, moved into their dressing room for the Grey Cup. The year before, Stampeders came here.
Same thing, only the opposite.
The opposite, you're right. Stampeders came here, won the Western Final.
Went into their room.
Went into their room when the Lions were hoping to host the Grey Cup.
John, and then you look at the Eastern Division and the tremendous season that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have had, but this is a team that has had some problems in the last couple games. Now, Kahari Jones hasn't looked quite as sharp, but he hasn't played as much, and you wonder, how will they respond? They have some injuries in their offensive line. Ron Lancaster's been hot. Now his team travels back. They have the short work week. Montreal's struggling, but they're rested up and been preparing all week for Hamilton. I mean, this is just maybe the toughest year ever to call who's going to come out and represent the East and the West in the Grey Cup. One thing we do know is there won't be 2 Eastern teams in the Grey Cup.
It's taken 18 weeks to eliminate 2 teams. We just found out that the Argos are done here tonight.
Well, there we've given BC Lions the win.
There you go.
They will travel to Calgary on Sunday. Montreal playing Hamilton.
Listen, to wrap up a big bow on our social calendar, our notes for the season, we've announced all the berths and all of that. Remember the wedding proposal we had in Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium?
Okay, let me think.
Mike
you are
proposed
you are so big on these weddings and babies and everything that
to Alana Live on TSN, and she said yes. She was in Sexsmith, Alberta, saying yes. Well, guess what? They're Lions fans, and they're here tonight.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Sitting down to our right down here, and look at this. Hold up the sign, Mike. Can you see us? Anyway, it says we got engaged on TSN. It looks like things are going along really well, doesn't it? They seem happy. I don't know when the wedding is.
Okay. Are they happy? Was that happy? You're going with happy.
That's true romance.
All right.
12 seconds to go, and that's our last social note of the season.
I know how you love the social calendar. Aaron Williams limping off the field. Ron Lancaster doesn't want to lose anybody at this point in the game. In fact, he'd be happy just to call it at 12 seconds, I'm sure, and get out. They make the long trip. They couldn't catch a red-eye flight and get out tonight, and you could argue is that whether or not that would help anyway. So by the time you get back on a red-eye flight all the way to the east, you're pretty much burnt out.
Yeah, Morano was talking about that yesterday. His team tried it a couple of times, red-eyeing, and you know, it does take a toll trying to sleep on an airplane, and it's a little tougher for the big guys too, isn't it? Getting comfortable in those tiny little seats.
Well, some of the guys like Gary Brown, some of those guys, they need 3 or 4 seats.
Well, that'll wrap up the 2001 regular season in the CFL. A couple of days late, but it's over. Ticats lose this one, finish the season at 11-7. Lions win.
Partner,
they're going to the playoffs, just like we predicted at the start of the year.
We've had some,
remember that?
We've accumulated a bunch of travel miles. It's been fun. Another great year.
Yeah, a lot of fun, pal.
Let's bring on the playoffs.
That's Sunday afternoon. Playoffs in Calgary and Hamilton. Damon Allen gets the Lions in by the skin of his teeth.
They're backing in, but they're in.
Well, with this telecast, we officially conclude the Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to Win promotion here on TSN. So on behalf of Canada Safeway, we would like to thank all of our customers who swiped their Safeway club cards for an automatic entry into the $1 Million Touchdown to Win promotion. And we would also like to thank all of the participating products and prize sponsors without whom this promotion would not be possible. From Safeway and TSN, congratulations to all of this season's Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to Win winners. And congratulations to all the participants in the CFL playoffs. Here are the semifinal matchups. They are finally set. The East, we knew, would be the Alouettes at the Tiger Cats. That'll be the first game on CBC at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then, finally, the Lions stood up and grabbed that third spot in the West. They will travel to McMahon for the second game on Sunday afternoon. So the Lions get her done on the final game of the season. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but they're in. What do you guys think?
Oh, how fitting is it that the Lions, it took them forever to actually realize that they were in the proverbial corner, as far back in that corner as they possibly could be. It was the last play or the last drive of the game, basically, for the BC Lions before they put this thing away, Chris. And to me, it exemplifies their level of play all season, especially the second half. The BC Lions have got to play much more sound, fundamental football if they got a hope of beating the Calgary Stampeders next week.
There's no doubt. I think the point of emphasis I'd like to make, though, is the playoffs are completely and totally different. I remember the years that I played in playoff games more than anything else. The intensity, the anticipation, it is high. Those first 2 or 3 series, it's all a blur. So I think whichever team comes out and makes the least number of mistakes has the greatest opportunity to go to the Grey Cup. And in all sincerity, it's all 6 teams that have that opportunity. And I couldn't tell you which one that is going to make it. There's some that have a bigger advantage, Matty. I don't know what you think about it, but I think it's a wide open situation. I really do.
That was the difference tonight for BC's. They didn't turn the ball over. Last week, Damon, 4 interceptions, and tonight it was a situation where they held on to the football, and that was a difference because you still look at the numbers. 7 of 18 for 69 yards passing the ball last week, 8 of 20, 90 yards, 4 picks. That's the difference. They've got a good enough football team. If they can eliminate the mistakes, their special teams defense can keep them in football games. And Damon, being the experienced quarterback he is, he can get fired at the right time. This team can go a long way.
Now, in the East, I was just going to say, Schulte, in the East, you got Hamilton. This is kind of a victory for them. Morally, a victory because they don't get anybody hurt. They can go home, regroup for the big home playoff date against Montreal.
Well, let's be honest, though. I mean, the Hamilton Ticats did not want to play this football game, and they had had enough. They didn't want to fly out here. They didn't want anything to do with this game. They did a good job of just getting through it, getting some experience for players that didn't work as starters. So they'll use the film. They may look at it, but I don't even think they're going to take anything from it. The moment they get back to Hamilton, everything will be concentrated on the Montreal Alouettes, stopping Mike Pringle, keeping Anthony Calvillo in the pocket so he can't get outside and try to make a big play. And a lot of it will depend on Don Southern. I think Southern has a good sense of how to stop offenses, and I think that's an advantage for Hamilton. I'm not that concerned about this game in the sense that once they get on that football field, all the emotions of the game and all the adrenaline of the game will take over. And once that happens, I think the Ticats have a really good opportunity to win the game, David.
Bottom line is, we're finally down to the playoffs.
Thank God.
Let's get to the games that really mean something. That'll come up on Sunday. Sean Millington, 3 touchdowns tonight of the BC Lions. Take care of business finally, 24-12.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
After 18.5 weeks and close to 40 games, we are done. We are moving on to Montreal. We are looking forward to that. Final thoughts, Schultze?
Well, I mean, still, let's be realistic. The best football team in the Canadian Football League is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Unless they self-destruct, there's no reason that they should not be in the Grey Cup. They got a great quarterback. They've got a great defense. They're at home. It's in Winnipeg, and it's going to be cold. All the advantages to them. All they have to do is focus at the right moments, avoid those mistakes. I expect to see them there. Matt.
Ooh, Chris, man, you're jumping 2 weeks ahead.
I am, aren't I?
Hey, let's look at Montreal, Hamilton. Let's look at Calgary, BC. I think you can throw away what happened over the last 18 weeks because everybody is 0-0. You now got a clean slate. Don't be the first one to mess it up. You got to go out there, leave it all on the football field. That's what I expect those 4 teams to do next Sunday. I'm looking forward to it.
And quickly, I'd just like to follow up on a point Glenn Suter made during the game. We've got a very talented, hard-working crew behind the scenes. A lot of work to make these guys look good, and they do a very good job at it. Our thanks to them, and our thanks to you for watching another great CFL season on TSN. Stick around. Coming up next, Molson, That's Hockey 2. Gary McGuire's on that show. I'm sticking around for that.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have all the highlights and all the analysis, and then Blake and Gino will give you all you need to know on what happened in the world of sports today. That's coming up, Sports Center at 2 a.m. Eastern. The BC Lions are in. The Grey Cup champs will get an opportunity to defend their title. Thanks again for watching, everybody. You have been watching TSN, Canada's sports leader.